What that means is in about 30 years, your money gets cut in half, right? So let's just keep that in mind that we can't just save it. We have to actually actively throw it into investments. So. Hi, I'm Joshua Ruskin. Today, let's talk about money. So in our previous videos, we talked about how you have to be saving money and investing it. But I kind of skipped over income because income is the least important component of building net worth. However, if you're willing to do what I showed you in savings and put more and more of your income into investments and not just keep spending it, then income is actually the gasoline on the fire strategy. You can get a real big explosion if you can keep increasing your income, putting it all towards investments. So that's the strategy here. All your extra income, don't have it go towards expenses. Keep your expenses level. Put your extra income and throw it towards your investments. And why do you do that, right? Why not just keep it in savings? Because savings is for losers. Let's look at this real quick. This is the US dollar. It's a fiat currency, which is a really bad thing because it's backed up by nothing. The US dollar used to be backed by gold. Now it's backed by nothing. Well, that means that the US government keep printing and printing money, which it does. So from 1990 to 2018, inflation rate was 102.46%, which is about 2.46% average per year. What that means is in about 30 years, your money gets cut in half, right? So let's just keep that in mind that we can't just save it. We have to actually actively throw it into investments. So if we want to actually increase our income, I've got three general strategies to do that, especially as an employee. I went over this in another video, but I'll just quickly summarize it right now. I use the acronym VCR, which stands for Value, Competition, and Resistance. I'm going to do them backwards though. So resistance would be essentially barrier to entry. And what that would mean is that, like, let's say a lawyer or a doctor would have to go through a lot of school, and so become a lawyer, a doctor, engineer. It has a very large barrier to entry, whereas if you work as a taxi driver or an Uber driver, the barrier to entry is pretty low, so you won't get paid as much. The next one is competition. So singers, actors, sports stars, there's a lot of competition. So it makes it obviously really hard to get into that. Whereas things with not a lot of competition would be like a plumber or garbage men, right? So they actually get paid quite a lot of salary, despite what people think, more than teachers get paid, because most people don't want to really deal with toilets, right? People don't really want to be plumbers. So the last one is value, right? And that's this value added to the world, to the economy. And so a doctor, for example, saves my life, right? That adds a lot of value to my life. Whereas if I go to a taxi driver, taking me to A to B, I could have biked, could have walked, could have done a train, metro. So that value added isn't as much as a doctor saving my life. So if you can maximize these components, you'll get paid more and more and more. However, this is not generally the strategy. This is kind of more of an employee strategy. Your goal, like I showed you in the other videos, is to go from employee to investor as quickly as possible. So usually you start as an employee. That's the worst because the income tax is really high there. If you're self-employed or small business, you can do a lot more write-offs. And then this usually people can't do, but big business is 100 people or 100 employees. Usually that's something it's hard to get to, but you can skip that B and go right to investments. And that's really easy. Literally, you could do like $100 a month. It's not hard to do. So that's your goal, is to go from E to I as quickly as possible. Because your job is to get a lot of different income streams. And there's 7 types of income streams. One is earned income. That's the majority of people, that's really all they do, is they have the earned income. And that's, again, not the best because you're trading your time for dollars, which is not a very good trade. Time is more valuable than money. The next one is profit, right? And that would be more like a business, a small business or a big business. That essentially means every time I sell a service or a product, I make a profit on that, and that would be profit. The next one is interest. Interest is essentially when you loan money. You could either have money in a checking or savings account. By loaning the bank the money, you'll get some interest on that. Treasury bills is another way. Something that pays you interest when you loan out money. The next one is dividends. Some stocks pay dividends, some stocks don't. But if you get paid a dividend, you get paid a percentage, yearly or quarterly. the percentage depending again on what stock you actually own. The next one is rental. So rental would be, obviously you just own a property for either residential or business, and you rent it out and you collect rent. The next one would be capital gains. That's essentially you buy something, and that could be a home, for a lower price and you sell it for more, or a stock, again, at a lower price selling it for more. So that would be capital gains. That is increased value. So royalty is actually the only one I don't have as an income stream, and I don't know too much about it. But the general gist of a royalty would be you create, let's say, a song or a process, kind of product, and or process, and then someone else does the hard work. They do all the work for you. You collect a commission, like a royalty check, and you get a small percentage. But essentially, you did your work and you do nothing else, and the other partner, the other person has to take on the work of selling your product or your process. All right. So those are the sources of income. You're going to want to maximize and do as many as possible. But the big thing, again, you want to focus on is with increased income, you want to throw that towards investments. So I'm going to kind of show you what normal people do and what the poor, middle class, and wealthy do. So poor people, pretty simple. As soon as they make income, it goes right to expenses, hand to mouth. Unfortunately, most people do something worse than poor people. They take their income, they go to expenses, and they buy liabilities. What do I mean by that? I mean they buy a home, they buy a car, and these things actually take away money every single month, right? And so a lot of people, when they make more income, they actually have the trap of buying more and more liabilities. And so they end up having these huge monthly costs. Let's say they got a huge home, a lot of mortgage. Let's say they built up a cost of $10,000 a month. That means that they're a slave to their job. If they ever get fired, they're in a real bad situation. They made their bed, and their bed is very expensive. It comes with a big monthly fee. So that's what you don't want to do. It's a big, big trap. It's like a coffin. Avoid that. Your goal is with your income is to first put that money into your assets. That is your top priority, because your assets will, with compound interest, feed itself. And whatever's left over, you do expenses, right? And at some point, you can switch off your income, switch off your earned income, and do just pure asset paid for your expenses. The big concept you have to understand, if you really want to take wealth seriously, is you have to get the concept of you have to pay yourself first. That means before you pay your taxes, before you pay anything else, you put money towards investments. And it's scary. My rules, again, I have at least half. Every single month I have to put at least half my money into investments. And if things go bad, you have to downsize and downgrade. But that's what you have to decide to do. You have to decide that you're going to take that punishment on, and that you're willing to always pay yourself first. And if you're willing to pay yourself first and put a large percentage of your income into investments, you will be very wealthy and definitely be a millionaire. All it takes is $8 a day over a few decades, and you're a millionaire. So it's not very hard. It just takes discipline. So hope this helped you guys. If you like this video, please comment, like, share, subscribe, and hope you guys really keep building wealth. And until the next video, take care.